is that if you put a striker, you're not going to have them sitting like this. You're going to have them this or this. One side, there will be a space. Because if you put a striker, there will be two players looking for that striker. Lupopo, we're playing with 5 defenders, with 4 midfielders. So that means they play with 5, they play with 4. So this is how they close the spaces. The very same spaces that Coach Ward wants his players to make those runs go. These defenders were closing those spaces. Remember, 5 defenders, 4 midfielders, they left 1 strike up front. Everyone, when they get a ball, the Pirates, these guys are coming in between like this. Can you see? And after I got a yellow card, I said to the guys, if I'm Coach Ward, I'll take him out now. I'm not going to wait longer. Because one, I can see this referee. I can see what these players are doing, the opponents, the players from Limpopo. And then possibly he can get a second yellow card. And then that will be red. Then I will have a headache. To be honest, I was a bit disturbed, not to say striker, and looking at how much we need to win the game, or necessarily to score goals, And then I said to myself, look, let me watch the game and see.
Benedict Tso Vilakazi is the all-time top goal scorer for Orlando Pirates with 52 goals plus 32 appearances for Bafana Bafana.
If you understand what I'm talking about, you will say to me, so you are correct.
Now you can catch Tso live every Monday on Omni Audio, TikTok, Facebook, and X. Don't miss Tso's football wisdom exclusive to Omni.
Oi, welcome to Tso's Football Wisdom. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and post. And Bafetu, we're going to talk about the Confederation Cup, CAF Champions League, Carling Black Label, and looking forward to this week, tomorrow. Again, Carling Black Label, and again over the weekend. Big one, very big one over the weekend. You know what's happening over the weekend will be Sundowns and Pirates. So we're going to talk about those games today.
I know, Hotman. I think it's only fair to start here. Biggest talking points obviously being Orlando Pirates being knocked out of the CAF Champions League in the preliminary stages. Like, they didn't even get to make it to the group stages. We look at what happened between Orlando Pirates and FC St. Lupopo. Clearly, Lupopo didn't come here to play. They came here to frustrate Orlando Pirates and to make sure that Orlando Pirates players lose focus, because once you frustrate your opposition, it makes it difficult for them to play. But at least the players, the Orlando Pirates, stood their ground, scored 3 goals. They started the game without a striker, Orlando Pirates, playing with midfield by attacker. When you saw that lineup, it was, what, are we trying to win a ball position or score goals? Why would you play without a striker, especially since you have a striker that knows how to score goals in Tsegofatso Mawasa? You look at the midfield, why is Talent Mbata also on the bench, whereas he's someone that scores crucial goals for the team? Hortman, Orlando Pirates started without a striker. Was it wise of the coach?
Look, to be honest, I was a bit disturbed, not to say striker, and looking at how much we need to win the game, or necessarily to score goals, and Then I said to myself, look, let me watch the game and see what's going to happen, and I want to see what's the plan of the coach. And his plan was, he wanted midfielders that will run inside the box, and that's not a bad idea. Look, that's not a bad idea. But now, one thing that he didn't see coming was that Lupopo, we're playing with 5 defenders, with 4 midfielders. So that means they play with 5, they play with 4. So this is how they close the spaces. The very same spaces that Coach Ward wants his players to make those runs go. These defenders were closing those spaces. Remember, 5 defenders, 4 midfielders, they left 1 strike up front. Everyone, when they get a ball, the Pirates, these guys are coming in between like this. Can you see? Do you think if those midfielders about Tita Bumbule, they make runs, they're going to manage? No way, no chance. And now again, it shows you when you start to see them taking shots outside the box. It's because it's closed there. It's closed. And my thinking was, Coach, look at this game. The game is asking you questions. This is how these guys are playing. This is how they're closing that space, those spaces. Why you don't put a striker? One thing I'm telling you about a striker is that if you put a striker, you're not going to have them sitting like this. You're going to have them this or this. One side, there will be a space. Because if you put a striker, there will be 2 players looking for that striker. 2 players. And then if you put another striker, that means it's going to be 2, 4 players. Look at the spaces now are you going to have. If he put 2 strikers, then you're going to have this space, you're going to have that space, you're going to have this space. Then you've got an advantage. Yeah, that was the plan of Coach Wadu and his technical team. And okay, firstly, I think we got a penalty. I think it was a penalty. And then Namtejela got a yellow card. And after I got a yellow card, I said to the guys, if I'm Coach Wadu, I'll take him out now. I'm not going to wait longer. Because one, I can see this referee. I can see what these players are doing, the opponents, the players from Limpopo. And then possibly he can get a second yellow card. And then that will be red. Then I will have a headache. But now, here comes the thing. Here comes the thing, guys. You've got Moremi, Apolise, Tito, Mbule, Sibelebele. 5. And then you've got Nduli, Siema, TLP, Otto. There's one player missing. Who's missing? Because I've got Moremi. I had Moremi. I had Apolise. I had Utito. I had Usipombule. Nemdejela. Yes. Nemdejela. So, we had 5 players. 6 attacking players. But sacrifice 1. Sacrifice 1 or 2. So that you put a striker there. And then look at what happened second half. By the way, the penalty, I think we are supposed to get a penalty. The referee didn't give us a penalty. Okay. The goal yaga Nemtejela, that was a foul. It was a foul. We are not supposed to get that advantage of playing that ball, or the referee thought that we've won the ball. That was a foul. And yeah, Nemtejela, beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. And that goal, let me show you something. That goal, it changed the game. At the very same time, dropped the game. Let me explain why I'm saying this. It changed the game to say to Pirates, hey guys, you are in the game. You are there. You can score. You can score 2 or 3 goals. You can go further. But now, look at what they did, these guys. The experience in the game, it plays a very, very important part. Look at how they bought time, those guys. Look at the delay that they did. The fighting, the ball, all of that, the diving, screaming, rolling in the field, taking time, all of that. That is experience. To say we're playing away, these guys have scored at home. The stadium is packed. We can't hear each other. We're defending. it's hard for us. You know what? Let's just kill this time. They kill the momentum. That's experience. That's a very, very good experience. These are the things that you cannot buy. You must earn it. And yeah, we went to halftime. Then I was like, what is coach is going to think now? Okay, he's going to put a striker, 1 or 2. Okay. But where he made a mistake, I think it's when I had a debate with my colleagues. No, but you are supposed to leave Nemtejela to play. I said, no, but he's got a yellow card. And you can see this game, that there's a lot of tricks in this game. It shows that these guys have got experience. They know how to provoke our players and all of that. And now, Nemtejela, he's got a goal, he's got a yellow card. So if you keep him, you can provoke him and then get a second yellow card and then he's out. That was a good change from Coach Ward and his technical team. But where I think he made a mistake, it's when he took out Mbule. He was not supposed to. The change that I was going to do, Mina, I was going to take out Unduli because we didn't need a defensive midfielder. Really, we didn't need a defensive midfielder. I was going to take out Unduli and put Umabasa because already you've got Mbutuma there. So you've got Umabasa. Look at what I'm talking about. Yes, sorry, I skipped this action. Muremi got a red card. Same applies to them. They've got a red card. So it was -1-1. So now that means when you take out, remember, when Muremi out, then you left with Apolise, Tito, you put Mbutuma, and then for me, leave Usipombule. And then you take out Tunduli, you put Umabasa. So that look at the goal, the corner kick. Mbutuma went to head that ball. That's an instinct of a striker. Beautiful header. And again, if you can look at how the game changed, you know, those are the things that you need to look at in the game. Certain players, they come into the game, they drop the game. Certain players, they come to the game, you know, the game goes up. So, yes, Dlamini came in. Yeah, he had those moments there, but he didn't give us what I think we were expecting.
Hotman, I think it's clear to see you go to Coach Owadu. He's proven to all of us that he likes experimenting in crucial games. Labo nakona kuti it's do or die. Make or break for the team. He wants to experiment. He's going to start playing players that haven't been getting enough game time and then only for him to lose the game. Like, for example, he had players on the bench that are experienced where the CAF Champions League is concerned. I'm talking about players who played the semi-finals, the CAF. He could have just played the team. He could have just played those players and then slowly introduced his other players. But also, Lendo yake yokuthanda uku-experimenta, especially in crucial games. Is this affecting the team's performance?
You just said a very important thing to say. You got a team that was knocked out in the semi-final. Let's count how many players you've lost in that team. I think it's 2 initially. Okay, the other one, not that you lost that player, but because he's out injured. You've lost Nkota, you've lost Mfukeng because of the injury. And then where's the rest of the players? So are you saying the team that took you to the semi-final, they're not good enough? Okay, let me show you another thing, Coach Wado, the mistake that you did. Sometimes there's players that personally you don't like that player. You're a human being, coach. It's not something that I'm just creating, or it doesn't happen. Look, you are a human being. It happens that there will be a player that you don't just like. You don't like the player. But there's one thing that the player is doing. He's doing a good job in the field of play. When you put him there, he does a very good job. And I think, for me, I don't know Umbata why was out with the experience of playing in the Bafana, playing in the Champions League, playing these qualifying games for Bafana. The last game he even scored. I mean, how do you justify for real a player that is playing in the Bafana and scoring in the Bafana? How do you justify him not to start at Orlando Pirates? But yeah, only you know.
But man, before we move on to the other games, now let's talk about the officiating. Poor officiating. I still don't understand how CAF doesn't have VAR. They have all of this money to pay teams that qualify or teams that play the preliminary rounds. Orlando Pirates got like something, are gonna get something like 100,000, and then St. Lupopo for making it to the group stages, boma 700,000 in dollars. Why not invest in VAR? Because clearly we have poor officials who don't understand the game. Moremi wasn't supposed to get the red card. It was supposed to be a yellow card. Omakoko played the rest of the game, but he was supposed to get the red card. And this guy was playing a silly game. Maraga Itolangi red card, he wasn't even cautioned once. He didn't even get a yellow card. The wrong player from St. Lupopo got the red card instead. So it's poor officiating. The poor officiating also affected the complexion and the temperature of the game and the pace of the game. I'm a player, at some point you could see that, okay, cool. Or referee is not on our side. How are we playing? What did you make of the poor officiating in that game?
Let me breathe. One thing I've seen and learned in that game was the fourth official. He can take decisions for the referee. Why am I saying this? I don't think the referee saw what happened. So as he went to the fourth official, and also the assistant was there, then the fourth official could see he was talking to him, and then he turned around and then went there and then gave a red card. You know why I'm worried? I'm worried with that decision, per se. That decision, I'm very, very worried. Because there will be issues. There will be issues that will ask to say, why you referee don't go to the fourth official? Because there was an incident that happens next to the fourth official. These are the things that I'm asking. And again, because you guys say the referee's decision is final. That's the law. But now, if you referee didn't see, how do you come with a final decision to give a red card? Are you taking that decision based on your colleagues? They saw that. You didn't see it. Your colleagues, they saw it. And then you believe them that your colleagues are telling the truth and this is what you need to do as in terms of the law. I'm trying to really understand that is it those decisions, they come when it suits the referee or it doesn't come at all, because it's for quite some time to see yes, there's this thing of a fourth official listening to this bench and hearing the other bench and the other bench talking to, then you'll call the referee and say, referee, can you give this one a red card? Can you give this one a yellow card? Whatever the case may be. But in the field things, I'm worried if a fourth official can really give a decision to the referee to say you can issue a red card. It's worrying me. I'm very, very worried with that because yes, VAR it's important, you know. Yeah. we need a VAR in. I think we need a VAR in all the games because there were some actions that I think were supposed to be, against Limpopo, but all of a sudden you see them, they're always against the Orlando Pirates. And besides that, I played for Pirates and all of that. But yes, I wanted Pirates to win. But the referee was poor, man. But not that poor. He was poor because at some point he made wrong decisions. At some point, yes, he will get it right. But yeah.
Grootman, this person made wrong decisions where bekubaluleke khona for the Pirates. That's where he made the wrong decisions. The right decisions he made when they didn't matter. But just before we move on, Saint Eli Limpopo have advanced to the group stages of the CAF Champions League. Given how they played against Pirates, clearly one might assume that even in DRC, they played a dirty game against Orlando Pirates, which probably then led to them winning by 3-0. How far do you see them go to the CAF Champions League?
No, I don't think they'll go further. This guy is sometimes that's why I'm saying you need experience in this game. Because look at how they've played at home. Even though they sabotage Perez, they did all these funny things and all of that, the goals disallowed, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, I don't think these guys will go further. If they would play the way they played away. But they look like all these teams, when they play away, look, they sit at the back. But when they play at home, they come to you. So let's wait and see. But I don't think they'll go further.